The thunder of jets in an open sky, a streak of gray, and a cheerful...
A loop, a whirl, and a vertical climb, and once again you'll know it's time for the adventures of Rocky and Bullwinkle and friends.
Starring that supersonic speedster, Rocket J. Squirrel, with his pal Bullwinkle the Moose, and a host of others.
Hurry, Bullwinkle! The show's about to start!
I'm coming as fast as I can.
Wave to the people!
Yay!
Now what are you doing?
Signing autographs. Let's see. John Smith.
But your name is Bullwinkle.
I know, but that's hard to spell.
We're gonna have a lot of fun. Come on and join us.
Sure, there's always room for one more.
Well, Bullwinkle was really up in the air last time. For in an effort to reach Rocky in creepy old Bleakley House, he sat on their giant mousetrap and fired himself over the wall. Unfortunately, the window he was heading for proved too small for him, and he got stuck fast high above the ground. Meanwhile, inside the house, a dazed Rocky was peering about in the gloom. Suddenly, a huge form appeared in front of him.
Is that you, Bullwinkle? Your teeth are chattering. You got a cold?
But of course, when Rocky struck a match to find his way out, it wasn't Bullwinkle at all. Instead...
Hokey smoke, it's a 6-foot mouse!
And Rocky bravely eluded the clutches of the strange creature, which then began to chase him from room to room of the old mansion. Rocky made a game try, but soon found himself trapped.
Uh-oh, there's no way out of this room. The window's blocked up. Looks like an old mattress.
Little did Rocky know that the old mattress was in reality his pal Bullwinkle, still stuck in the tiny window. Closer and closer came the monstrous mouse, and then suddenly turned away.
Gee, maybe he's leaving.
No such luck. The weird creature was merely getting into position to use its sharp tail as a spear. Straight at Rocky came the sharp point, but at the last second he was able to leap aside. Unfortunately, Bullwinkle wasn't.
No!
Little did he know, but that sharp jab was a blessing in disguise.
Don't worry, I got the point all right.
Inside the mansion, the mouse monster made another backwards lunge at Rocky, and this time, as the agile squirrel slipped out of the way, the pointed tail crashed into the wall.
Rocky, come on out of there!
It's okay, Bullwinkle. I got him caught.
Sure enough, with its tail driven deep into the wall, the enormous creature was stuck fast and couldn't get away. Then, as our boys watched in amazement, the monster's struggle slowed and stopped.
What happened, Rock?
I'm not sure, Bullwinkle, but I think he ran down.
Swell, let's us run out.
But as our heroes started to escape from the house, beady eyes were watching them closely. Then, as they went down the hallway...
Looky there, Rock.
Those are paintings of the old Bleakley ancestors, Bullwinkle.
Ancestors?
They sure look alike, don't they?
Yeah, all except that last one.
Bullwinkle, that's a picture of the monster mouse.
Yeah, not very good either.
What do you mean?
It don't look real. It ought to face more this way and... Uh-oh.
Bullwinkle, it is real.
And Bullwinkle snatched his hand away just in time. In another instant, the mouse had disappeared.
Gee, how many of those things are there?
Even one of them is quite a few.
Bullwinkle, this is a secret passageway.
Well, the secret's safe with me. Let's get out of here.
And our boys scrambled through the opening in the wall, but no sooner were they inside than the opening closed behind them.
That sounds awful final.
Sure is dark in here.
Yeah, I can't see my hand in front of my face.
You don't have your hand in front of your face.
Well, I said I couldn't see it.
Look ahead there, Bullwinkle.
Sure enough, at the end of the passage, light shone through a crack in the door.
Sounds like voices in there, Bullwinkle.
Yeah.
Put your ear to the door and listen.
Unfortunately, the only way Bullwinkle could put his ear to the door was to put his antlers through the door, which is just what he did.
Run, Bullwinkle!
I can't. My head bone is stuck.
And in a moment, the door was flung wide, dragging Bullwinkle into the room.
Hokey smoke, Bullwinkle, look!
Well, what dreadful sight has driven the roses from Rocky's cheeks? We'll see next time in Doorway to Danger, or doom in the room.
Well, son, how's the lemonade business going?
Not so hot, Pop. I only sold one glass to Butch Creases.
Oh, did he like it?
I won't know until after he gets out of the hospital.
Yeah, out of the Jupiter suspenders? You don't mean... Let me taste that.
Pretty good, huh?
Well, it's good and strong, I'll have to say that. Who helped you concoct this?
Well, it was Lefty, Spike, Romulus, and Remus.
I thought so. How many times have I told you too many cooks spoil the broth?
But, Pop, this isn't broth.
It isn't lemonade either. Perhaps if I told you a fable, you'd see things clearer. Now, this is the story, son, of the goldfish and the bear. You see, animals are very much like people. They throw things away. And when enough things are thrown away, they form a pile. In time, the pile becomes a dump. In the city, it's a city dump. In the forest dump. It is here that the laziest citizens eke out their meager existence.
Well, there's my contribution. I had a lettuce.
And here's mine, a head of cabbage.
Here's mine, a head of Julius Caesar.
Hey, what's the idea of throwing a statue in there, Jack?
Now, what are you trying to do, bust the stew?
I'm sorry, fellas, but I couldn't find no food.
Then you don't eat. This here is a community-type stew pot. Only if your contribution do you get to eat.
The fox and the crow suggested the bear resume searching, and resume he did. He wandered through the woods for hours until finally he came across a large pond.
I wonder if there's any fish in this pond.
There was a small but succulent goldfish.
Hey, fellas, there's a small but succulent goldfish in the pond.
That's swell. You fetch him, put him in a pot, we'll let you eat.
What does succulent mean?
Who knows?
Wise to the ways of catching fish, the bear headed for the nearest phone booth.
Hello, operator. Let me speak to the goldfish in the pond. Hello, goldfish in the pond? This is the bear. You do not know me, but I got two friends who've got a community stew pot. Now, I cannot eat what's in the pot unless I throw you into it. Now, what I want to know is this. If you let me catch you and throw you in a pot, I will do you a favor someday. Well, what do you say? Will you go for it? Smart alecky goldfish.
Undaunted, the bear took on the services of a friendly pelican.
Right. You catch the goldfish for me, and I'll give you a slightly used honeycomb. Deal?
Deal.
Are you sure you know what a golden fish looks like?
Sure I know what a golden fish looks like.
A succulent golden fish?
Yeah, them too.
Okay, go get him.
Now, where'd that bear go to? Hey, bear, I got him. I got the goldfish.
Where? Where? This time I was gonna get him for sure. I will flesh wound him. That's what I'll do.
Now, let me get this straight. You want me to take you for a ride, right?
Right. Right over the pond.
What are you gonna do with that boulder?
I'll go drop it from the plane.
Why?
Well, ain't gonna do no good up there, is it?
Yeah, okay. All right, let her go. Now, you satisfied?
Yep.
By the way, where did you aim that boulder?
For the pond. I hit a golden fish with it.
Mm-hmm. Did you allow for air pockets, cross currents, and like that?
What are they?
Well, you see, when you drop something out of an airplane, it don't necessarily mean it's gonna fall straight down. Cause a fallen object runs into air pockets and air currents and things like that.
Oh, that's the story, fellas. I just cannot catch that golden fish.
Well, you better or you don't eat. Have you tried a fishing rod yet?
Say, that's an idea.
Boy, is he stupid.
Succulent, too.
You said it.
So, once again, the hungry bear returned to the scene of his failures, this time with a fishing rod. And strangely enough, he came close to a bite. But that goldfish was resourceful. He remembered an old mine that had been left floating in the pond during the war. And after coating it with gold paint...
That's a goldfish?
Don't look like no goldfish to me.
Well, you wouldn't look like no crow if you live underwater.
The fact that the mine was painted gold did the trick. But 2 seconds later... Hey, so you see, my boy, too many cooks spoiled the broth.
But it wasn't broth, Pop. It was stew.
Well, what difference does it make as long as the moral applies?
I got a better moral. All that glitters is not goldfish. How about that?
That, Junior, is succulent.
And now, for all you travelers of the open road, here's Mr. Know-It-All.
Hello, carefree adventure lovers! Today, let's examine the most economical form of transportation, hitchhiking. First, we need 2 important ingredients, a road and a thumb. Then, stepping 18 inches onto the pavement itself, the hitchhiker smiles broadly at the hitchhikee, or driver, and immediately... Which brings us to the problem of overconfident. You must look modest but helpful.
Hey, Moose!
You see?
You got a match?
Why, of course, kindly, sir. Say, you wouldn't happen to be going to... Which brings us to the petroleus neglecticus method, or out-of-gas look. If you hold an empty gas can, the motorist naturally assumes you need a ride to the next station. Of course, you must exert extreme care with the gas can, because you could...
Hey, Moose, thanks for match.
It may become necessary to trick the motorist into giving you a ride. By creating the impression of a railroad crossing, you make the motorist stop. Then all you have to do is... Oh, no. I'll stand over here where it's safe until he comes to a complete stop.
Gee, Mr. Know-It-All, you didn't do so well. Think you'll ever get a ride?
Of course. There's one important little element I left out that makes it absolutely certain I'll get a ride.
You're right, Bullwinkle. One little element.
Yep. It's illegal.
And now...
Hey, Rocky, watch me pull a rabbit out of my hat.
Again?
Nothing up my sleeve. Presto!
Wrong hat.
I take a 7.5.
Now here's something we hope you'll really like.
Hello, Peabody here. Today, Sherman and I are off to Boston.
For beans, Mr. Peabody?
No, for the Battle of Bunker Hill, Sherman. We set the Wayback Machine for June 17th, 1775, and in an instant we were teleported to the scene of the battle. High atop Bunker Hill, we joined the American Army.
Look, Mr. Peabody, the British are halfway here already.
Oh, indeed they were, and closer they came.
Why don't the Americans fire?
A good question, Sherman. Pardon me, Lieutenant, but unless you commence firing, the British will be upon you.
I know it, but orders are orders.
And what were the orders?
Not to fire until we see the whites of their eyes. And the way I see it, this battle's gonna be over without us firing a shot.
I don't understand, Mr. Peabody. Can't they see the whites of the eyes?
I'm afraid not, Sherman. You see, the British are wearing sunglasses. Well, the battle might have begun and ended right there if it hadn't been for British tradition. The clock struck 4 and the English broke for tea.
1 lump of tulle, men. 3, please.
Quick, Lieutenant, send someone back to headquarters and have those orders countermanded.
A good idea. I'll go myself.
You realize, of course, everything depends on speed.
Don't worry, sir. I'll be back in a week.
A week?
Headquarters are in New York.
Well, give my regards to Broadway. Quickly, Sherman, we must invade the enemy camp. It was obvious that unless the British removed their sunglasses, the American cause was doomed. We made our way downhill and hid behind a small wooden fence.
Now what, Mr. Peabody?
Take the spray can, Sherman. It contains white paint. You see this hole in the fence? Well, every time a British soldier peeks through it, spray his sunglasses.
But how are you going to get them to peek through the fence?
Curiosity, my boy. Seconds later, a "Do not look through here" sign was posted over the hole, and it brought immediate results. How's it going, Sherman?
Just fine, Mr. Peabody.
Good. Continue spraying until you've run out of soldiers. Then meet me at the tent of General Burgoyne.
By Jove, Major, that sunglasses idea of yours was positively a stroke of genius. Where on earth did you ever pick it up?
In one of the far-off colonies called Long Beach, California. All the natives wear them out there.
Begging the General's pardon, sir, but we just caught 2 blinking spies.
You didn't catch us, and we are not spies. General Burgoyne, I am Dr. Peabody, and this is my assistant, Dr. Sherman.
Doctors? What sort of doctors?
Eye specialists. There's an outbreak of spot-sitis in the colonies, and...
Tea time's up. All right, Major. Have the men resumed the attack. Now what's all this polderole about isopotis?
Spot-sitis. You see, General...
General, come quickly.
What is it, man? Are we on the run?
No, sir. We're on our backs. Look, every one of our soldiers flat on his back, complaining of spots before the eyes.
Spot-sitis.
Sportsitis?
Spotsitis.
We set up a field hospital in the General's tent.
I say, do you always use a magnet instead of a scalpel?
In cases of spot-sitis, yes. Now close your eyes, please.
Now open them.
I can see! Oh, I can see!
Gets you right here, doesn't it?
Why, yes, I suppose so.
By the time we were through, every soldier in the British Army had been shorn of sunglasses. We presented our bill to Burgoyne and then crept back to the American lines.
Here they come, Mr. Peabody.
Now remember, men, your orders are not to fire until you see the whites of their eyes.
Oh, no, they're not.
It's the lieutenant who went to New York.
How did you get back so fast?
I hit the signals just right. Here are the new orders.
To the American Army, do not fire until you see the glare of their sunglasses.
Oh, no!
Well, Sherman, back to the enemy camp again.
What do we do this time?
We'll have to convince Burgoyne the only preventive for a reoccurrence of spot-sitis is to wear sunglasses. That's correct, General. According to my colleague, Dr. Sherman here, your army must wear sunglasses.
By the way, old man, isn't Dr. Sherman a trifle young to be a doctor?
Well, he skipped his internship. Your sunglasses, General?
Thank you, Doctor.
And so the British finally assaulted Bunker Hill. We not only saved the American Army, but we coined a new phrase.
New phrase?
Yes. I think what we did with those sunglasses was definitely a frame-up. Don't you?
Last time, you remember, our heroes had charged down a secret passageway in the old Bleakley mansion following a 6-foot metal-munching mouse. Then, coming upon a closed door, Bullwinkle had tried to put his ear to it to hear what was going on. And promptly got his head stuck. Suddenly, the door was thrown open and Bullwinkle was pulled into the room. And through the open door, Rocky saw a sight that made him blanch with fright.
Hokey smoke! The room's full of mice, and every one of them is 6 feet high.
In a trice, our heroes were seized and hustled by the enormous rodents into a large hall.
Where do you suppose we're going, Rock?
They must be taking us to their leader. Look!
Yes, there on the wall was a framed portrait.
Our leader, the Big Cheese.
Now, where have I seen that face before?
Didn't there used to be a club on the TV that...
No, that was somebody else.
The ears looked familiar as though...
But just then a curtain parted at the end of the room.
Bullwinkle, it's him!
Him who?
Their leader, the Big Cheese.
Yeah. He sure is a little rat, isn't he?
So, you have fallen into our mousetrap, eh?
That voice. Haven't you heard it somewhere, Bullwinkle?
Well, I haven't been hanging around many rat holes lately.
What are you going to do with us, Mr. Big Cheese?
What do you do with all us mice?
You mean?
Of course. We call exterminator. Oh, Herman!
And the biggest mouse of all lumbered forward, his stainless steel teeth glittering wickedly.
You got it straight, Herman? You saw it. Gentlemen, meet Herman the Vermin Exterminator.
But why exterminate us?
Because you might interfere with our big plan.
What big plan is that?
Plan to take over whole U.S. of A.
What?
And as our boys listened horrified, the Big Cheese outlined the fiendish plan for conquering the entire nation. The key step was the destruction of all television antennas in the country, to be gobbled up by a horde of metal-munching mice.
But why for all that?
Don't you see beauty of plan? Everybody goes to some other country where they got television. Country is left deserted, then we move in.
But that's dirty pool.
There's another kind pool.
Don't worry, Bullwinkle. People aren't going to leave the country just because the TV breaks down.
Silly kid.
And the Big Cheese showed our heroes actual photographs of people standing in long lines at railroad terminals, airports, bus depots.
I just can't believe it, Bullwinkle.
Yeah, they're gone without us.
No, I mean they're deserting their country.
Well, even us rats leave sinking ships, you know.
Gee, you can't believe in anything anymore.
Yeah, anything.
Okay, let's go, Herman.
And our heroes trudged out disconsolately, followed by the huge exterminator. But they would have been even more shocked had they been able to remain behind with the Big Cheese, for when they had left the room, he reached up, grabbed hold of his ears, and lifted his head off to reveal... But no.
But yes, Boris Badenov, world's champion Ogudnik, at your service.
Well, are these two really planning to do away with all TV?
What's the matter? Weren't you listening a minute ago?
Including this program?
This program is #1 on Kaput Parade.
Oh, well, be with us next time, if we're still on the air, to see Boris Makes His Move or The Mice Man Cometh.
Well, it looks as if our time has just about run out.
Mine must be a little slow.
You got the credits, Bullwinkle?
All on this itty-bitty card. Oop!
We're late again, Bullwinkle.
Right!
Bye now. See you next time.